Hey man, we right here at Blunt Talk, man. We got a special episode, our very first episode, man.
Oh yeah.
We got a father-son talk. We got two legends here. For y'all don't know, my name, like Double D, 7G, I go by. I got my boy Dev the Dunn right here.
Yes, sir. One and only.
We just out here trying to make it like everybody else, man.
Yes, sir.
So, I got my dad here. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. Man, hold on.
Hey man, rule number one, when you want to set silence the phone. But it's cool, this our first episode, man.
Yeah, we get the kinks out, but we're gonna get it right. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna start with my dad, see what you want to say, and we can start with yours.
Hey, Eric Easy. That's my name. Easy is my Rough Rider name.
Cool, man. What generation you are? What year you born? Don't mind me asking.
I was born in the 50s, man.
Oh, 50K.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I come way back out of there, man.
Yeah. Cool, man. What's going on with you, Dad?
Man, it's a real interesting opportunity I had just moving out here to Atlanta. Got to, really get serious with this podcast opportunity with my boy Double D, 7G.
Most definitely.
But not only came out here, got close with him, but my dad, him and his wife just got a house out in Gainesville. So it's been nice to be able to be closer with him, So
That's what's up.
This is my pops. You go ahead and introduce yourself there.
Hi, I'm Devin Pandy. Devin Real Easy. Pandy Real Easy is my ride name. And just glad to be here with my son, your friend, and your dad. It's nice to meet the legendary Easy Rough Riders.
That's what's up.
So I'm feeling this.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man. Also, too, with you, man, I want to congratulate you on your little Netflix role.
Oh, yeah,
Already
that's what's
noticed?
up, man. That's what's up.
Hey, man.
That's what's up.
You him watching that, he got the text. Like, yo, my dad on here, bro. Like, we turned it on, went to the point. I know it was like 10 seconds, bro. You was in the little suit, looked at that watch, and like, yeah, nigga, that's my dad. Nigga, that's my dad. We didn't give a damn, bro. That was real inspirational, too. I know it was a little extra role, but that was real. Just seeing that with The Rock and all that, making movies and all this, just very inspirational, man.
Yes, much successful, brother. Much successful, brother.
Yeah, man, I was a real proud moment, just to be able to show that that's my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro. We went ham. Everybody knew what it was.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, we just got y'all here. This podcast, man, is really for conversation with people. We ain't trying to judge nobody. We ain't trying to throw nobody on the bus. We're gonna ask y'all a couple of questions because I feel like people can learn from this. And I'm gonna start with you, Dad, and he gonna ask the question to his dad. So that's basically how we're gonna do this.
Oh, man, you gonna put me in hot seat.
Nah, I ain't gonna. Like I said, you don't gotta ask me.
I'm already wiggling, man.
Nah, man, but we're gonna start it off first, what was like the Rough Riders like? You know what I'm saying? How would you describe that experience?
Woo-wee. I gotta keep it short, man.
Okay.
A lot of fun, traveling, meeting a lot of interesting people. Just becoming a part of an organization that you can call home, family. You know what I mean? And meeting a lot of people in the entertainment world as far as artists.
You met DMX too, right?
Oh, yeah, that's my dude, man. Yeah.
R.I.P. to DMX, man.
Yeah. That's my dude, man. I used to take him around. Well, he took me around. That's really how that really went down, Yeah, man. So, had a lot of times with him and, some of the higher ups. Had a lot of good time. Travel, saw the world, saw people, saw different aspects of lifestyles. How people represent, Rough Riders from different cities, states, nation, even around the world. So for me, man, it was fun. Fun. Well, it is fun.
Yeah.
Well, Pops, growing up, I really never knew you were a part of the Rough Riders, but, looking back on it, I did see pieces of it, like you always having a bike. I would see your vest, but I never really seen you being a Rough Rider until I moved down to Augusta. And, I remember you took me to that DMX concert, let me meet the man. Yeah, I mean, it's
He rapped for him.
yeah, I rap for him.
You
man.
showed me that video too.
That's what's up.
That was a hell of an experience, man.
Yeah, he spit 16 for him, and then
I spent another one for him.
he gave him some notes. Told him to spit another 16.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, never forget that. But
Crazy.
But yeah, you know, with that being said, you know, you've been affiliated with the organization for years, and you also being a 21-year military vet. You know, how did you get affiliated with the Rough Riders while also integrating that into your career?
Well, I was mostly an independent rider for a long time. I started riding in 2001,
Okay.
and I was an independent rider for 11 years. And then back in 2012, my best friend, I was trying to get him and some other buddies of mine to start riding, and they would never want to ride. Well, this one day, my boy comes to me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about getting a bike." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start hanging around the set." I'm like, "All right, cool." He's like, "Yeah, so I'm gonna check out these motorcycle affiliations or organizations and see which one I wanna be down with. I wanna know if you'll prospect with me." It's like, all right. I was like, well, there's only one that I will even consider being a part of. So you go ahead and check them out. Tell me which one you want to join. If it's the same one I want to join, I'm with you. He came back and he said Rough Riders, and I was like, all right, let's do it. So we did it, and so that was 2012, and it's been great. Like he said, you know, travel the world, and as far as I know, and as far as Rough Riders Europe told me, I'm the first Rough Rider to ever go over there and do a Rough Rider chapter tour in Europe.
That's what's up.
So at the time, 2014, 2015, there were only 8 chapters. I believe there's like 11 or 12 now, but there were only 8 Europe chapters, including London. So the London chapter. So I went to 7 of those 8. The only one that I didn't visit was London, and it's not because I wasn't in London and didn't try. I just wasn't receiving the love from London like I was from every other chapter. But man, it was great.
Man, don't let loco.
Those guys, they never met me before. Those guys and girls, they never met me before, but welcomed me like a brother. I always had somewhere to stay. Always had food to eat. Always had something to do and places to go. It's a fraternity. It's a brothership and a sisterhood, and it's family. And that's what I cherish about Rough Riders, is that, you know, it is a family. And of course it's a business too, and there's a business side to it, but the family part is what got me, and I love it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, man. We got some more questions for you, man. Here's a curveball. Dad, have you ever been to jail?
Come on, man.
Hey, you don't gotta answer the question.
Hey, man.
You don't gotta answer the question.
Yeah, man. Who ain't been to jail, man?
I mean,
Come on, man.
I ain't trying to put your whole case out there, but you know, if you want to elaborate, feel free.
Yo, man. Come on, for real, man.
Hey, you know what? I tell you the time I went to jail, man. I went to jail. I got caught shoplifting at Walmart, man. Okay.
Dig that.
And they took me to jail. You already know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's stupid as hell. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth going to jail for $25.
Yeah.
You don't got no covers.
Yeah.
Shit ass applesauce.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, bro. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We ain't condoning it, but I've been to jail, man. How was things for you?
Check this out, man.
What's up?
I went to jail for theft by receiving a stolen auto.
Okay.
And as everybody that's been in jail say, hey, man, I didn't do it, man. You know what I'm saying? But I had my business. One of the cars was stolen, yo.
Wow.
And from the police perspective, they thought that I was going to be okay. When I got down to the judge, he was like, you stole the car. So he put that stamp on me, threw me in there, put that label on me. So, you know, we set it out for a few days. I didn't do no months and days of time, you know, months and years, nothing like that, but sat in there for a couple of days and waited for them to come get me up out of there. So they come got me out of there. A couple other times I went in there.
Mhm.
I call it self-protection, protecting yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what I call it, self-defense, but
Yeah.
once you get down, they start talking. If your witnesses don't show up and everybody that show up on the other team, they go the other way.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Got another time I got in some trouble.
You don't gotta get with the whole swoop. I feel it though.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got. People. You know what I'm saying? It might go somewhere.
Well, hey man,
Hey.
I've been down there plenty of times. Okay.
I feel it, man. I appreciate
I've
you
been down
sharing your
there plenty of
experience,
times.
man.
Wrong people at the wrong places at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Now, would you say like there's a time you was wrongfully in jail, or there was a time that you had a negative experience with a police officer?
The first time I felt wrongful was when they booked me for theft by receiving.
Okay.
I was trying to be a black business entrepreneur, young, trying to do the thing. He was a little fella at that time.
Right.
And they didn't want to hear me, man. So, they always stick you with a public offender. Attorneys I had that I wanted to have, it was like 13,000 or 14,000. I barely had $14. You see what I'm saying, man?
I got you.
How about you, Dad?
Heck yeah.
You being in the military, I remember seeing you even like pay for a police officer's meal one time when we went to Waffle House. But have you ever had any negative altercation when it comes to police?
Have you seen my skin color? So, you know what? I have never been to jail, I've been detained. I've never been arrested, never been to jail or prison. And I credit that to many things. A couple of those things would be maybe a gift of foresight and luck.
Mm-hmm.
So the foresight being, first on my dad's behalf, we were living, when we came here from Belize, we were living in New York. My daddy had no money, mommy had no money. And we lived in 4 of the 5 boroughs. We moved to wherever was the cheapest, right? And so I remember back, seeing my older brother, he's 4 years older than me, seeing him running with certain groups, getting into trouble. My dad joined the military, and we moved away from all that. And then living on a military base, those things are still happening, but not nearly as bad, not nearly as often. So that moved us away from those types of things. And then where foresight comes in is I realized coming up on graduating high school that I didn't really have anything going on. I had no desire to go to college. I didn't really have any skills that I developed, as a kid growing up. Now I'm a teenager about to graduate high school. And so I thought to myself, all the trouble that I saw my brother get into, and he was kind of forced to go into the military or go to jail. So he joined the military. Mm-hmm. And I decided, okay, I can just graduate, not do anything, and then end up having to commit crimes of necessity, like so many of the other people that I saw doing growing up. And I was like, well, that's not the move. My dad joined the Army, my brother joined the Army. My father taught us to love this country that accepted us. So I figured that's the best way for me to go. I can serve the country, I can give back to the country that's given me so much, and I can keep myself out of trouble.
Right.
So that's what I did, so I joined the military. And then also a lot of luck, because no matter where I'm from, what language I speak, the military that I serve in, I'm still a black man in America. And so there have been times when I've been pulled over for no reason, where I've been stopped while walking to be questioned for no reason. And in those situations, I'm very long-tempered. I'm very even-keeled until I reach a certain point.
Right.
And I've been lucky to have been able to guard myself from reaching that point. It's not easy, but yeah, so it's been a lot of luck, some foresight, and a lot of hard work too. You know, because just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're going to get into any trouble. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get into trouble. So being able to understand these people right here are not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a career. I was married to your mom at the time, you know, trying to, you know, keep my family fed, clothed, housed, and safe. And so hanging out with these dudes right here that's doing all these things, oh man, one of these 5 people just got sent to Leavenworth. Those aren't the people I need to be hanging out with. So it took a lot of growing up and maturing and trying to make decisions that weren't necessarily what I wanted to do, but what I needed to do. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Heck yeah, man. That's just really insightful, man. It's hearing two. I feel like y'all 2 different guys come from 2 different backgrounds, man. I feel like I have a lot of experience, you know, on life, and I feel like that's one of the reasons me and Dad wanted you guys to be here with us, because who else gonna give us the best experience, the success stories than you guys, you know?
Yeah.
But another question we had to ask y'all, what was like the 90s like? 'Cause I know the 90s, man, you had pagers, payphones, you know.
What are some things from the 90s that you miss, you know, that you
Right.
wish were the same?
How you compare from today's time, you know? Like, what about the 90s y'all miss, you know?
Before y'all answer, I guess we're so specific about the 90s because everybody's so nostalgic about that era.
Yeah.
As if it's like the best one to live through, you know?
That's when I was born. I mean,
Of
yeah, I
course.
was born, you know? And I feel like black people was a little bit more together. I feel. That's just me.
You know, so you know, I come from way back there. So, right, 90s was a good time for blacks. It was a sound ringing of togetherness. You know, blacks started to make moves in America. Big moves. Homes, family.
Wesley Snipes move.
Okay, I like that. Oh, I like that. Wesley Snipes moves. Okay, check that out. You know, also in the 80s was good too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, the 80s might have been better for the 90s than the 90s. You know, for me. You know, for my time.
Everybody was on coke in the 80s.
Yeah, I was about to say for you or for black people.
But you know, everybody wasn't on coke.
Oh,
You know, that's what they say. So there's plenty of people out on coke, man. You know, at least people I hung out with weren't on coke. I wasn't on coke.
I feel it. It was just, you know.
I wasn't even on weed.
I feel it.
Just having fun, man, enjoying life, trying to get to that place, man, where you can just sit back and relax, enjoy life, enjoy people, just have a good time in life. You know what I mean? Have something established, have something accomplishments. You know what I mean? But 90s, I can say this right here, man. One thing that put hell in the 90s that people can remember: Clinton was president.
That was the first thing I thought of when you mentioned it. First thing I thought of.
What that means, so
Because
what?
we thought we had our first black president.
That was
This dude smoked weed.
Yeah.
This dude played the saxophone.
Yeah.
I know this is bad. This is bad to compare this to black people, but he cheated on his wife. Like, we just thought we like, this is our black president. We ain't never gonna get one. This is the closest we gonna be to a black president.
Yeah, it was a culture that it was like you see this person that's the president, and he was like cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you felt like he's cool with me as a black man. You know what I mean? So I don't know if people relate to that as the 90s, but music changed in the 90s. You know, music started making a statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had the West Coast music, you had up top New York music, you know, and they started clashing. Everything just started popping from there. You know what I mean? The Rough Riders even started making noise in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Oh, for real.
And a lot of good things, I mean, for a lot of people, you know, took off in the 90s. It really did. And every decade, I would like to think that a lot of things took off for a lot of people. But as far as blacks as a whole, that people really talk about today would be in the 90s, I think. You know, so real good era of time because of Clinton.
Okay.
And now, but I do want to give a caveat about this whole Clinton thing, because not realizing it at that time, but knowing things better now, you know, there were some things that Clinton did that were not good for black people. Like 3 strikes. 3 strikes was heavily weighted against black people, inner city, things like that. And even Clinton has come out now to say, hey, I didn't realize how bad that was for one particular group of people, and I'm sorry.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Just the other day, I was talking to some young men. We have a good time at the cigar shop, man, just laughing. We talking more shame and dignity than anything. I mean, bullshit. But just like he said, man, there's certain aspects during that time, you know, you had to accept and be able to move with it. And there's other aspects, just like it cut you down real bad. And justice wasn't that great back then. Not for us, at least not for me and my side of town. You know what I mean? So you always had to kind of be alert in that time, in that era. If you weren't, that 3 strikes was gonna bite you in the butt. Yeah. Real bad.
Yeah, whenever I think about the 90s, Bill Clinton is nowhere near my mind. So it's interesting for y'all both to be talking about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, from both of us, the 90s was such a dinosaur.
Heck yeah.
I mean, diverse growth, diversity, people, blacks, whites, Indians, of all different cultures, man, start halfway trying to talk, you know what I mean? Halfway trying to relate, you know what I mean? All these different cultures start becoming businesses and companies, and we still fighting, racially, but a lot of us learn how to make it through. The military made big, there it is right there. As far as the military, big things start changing for women in the military. Mm-hmm. Black men in the military, they start moving up. 90s was a good decade, I would say. It was a good decade for me.
The LGBTQ community got the don't ask, don't tell in the military, which was better than what they had.
What is that?
So before don't ask, I'll explain what it is. But let me tell you what was going on before it took effect. So before don't ask, don't tell, you could not be gay or lesbian in the military. And so you could not tell the truth to join the military and say that you're straight. But if you're ever found to be gay or lesbian, caught in gay or lesbian acts, you can get kicked out. Mm-hmm. And you would actually be asked when you're joining the military, are you gay? Are you lesbian? And don't ask, don't tell came out that says the Army can't ask, and you are under no obligation to tell whether or not you're gay or straight. And you could still get put out of the Army, but you could no longer get caught in that catch-22 where you either say that you're gay or lie. So yeah.
Put a lot of pressure off of that community.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking on the LGBT community, we just went to Cancun to celebrate my brother's wedding, and him and his husband, had a ball, had us all down there about 3-4 days. But just, as a father, whenever you found out he came out as gay, how did you adapt to that? And, because, from outside looking in, mm-hmm. It just seemed like you were open arms and everything was like real smooth, but is that reality?
Yeah. So the way that I grew up, and probably the way Easy grew up, is that you're just not gay. And gay is wrong. Gay means you're a sissy. You're not a man. Stuff like that. And so having that kind of upbringing, of course, I didn't want any gay children. And but I always knew, and hear me out on this, I always knew that there was something wrong with Dominique. I always knew that there was something wrong, and I just didn't know what it was. And now I said it like that on purpose to garner a reaction to some of your listeners. So when I say I always knew that there was something wrong with Dominique, It's not that he was gay. That's not what's wrong with him. What's wrong with him is that he didn't feel comfortable enough to be who he was. And I always knew that there was something, he was more reserved than I thought he really was. He was more standoffish, and it was because he was living a lie. He was one person in private and another person in public, just to appease those who vilify the LGBTQ community. So seeing him now, being able to embrace who he is and to let that shine for the world to see, and knowing that it is his husband who helped him to reach that point, like, that just makes me happy. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't care if you're gay, if you're paraplegic, if you're I don't care what you are, as long as you are healthy, I'm happy. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. So I'm ecstatic that he finally has reached a point where he can be who he is, not have to worry about what anyone else says. People are gonna say things,
right?
But they have no bearing on how happy you can be. And he and Jake are happy, and he is the happiest I've ever seen him. And I'm okay with that.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah, man. Well, man, we went deep on that one. That went way left field, but hey, man, I hear where you coming from.
And that's something a lot of people need to hear. As black fathers, in our culture, it's looked down upon for your son to be gay. Just as you alluded to your father.
So let me tell you this, talking about culture, diversity, different people. In my era, shoot, we didn't like gay folks, man, at all. I grew up, what's the word? Homophobic to death. So I didn't like it. And a lot of us didn't like it. And we threw rocks at them.
Dang, bro. Yo, dang, bro.
And we fought with them, and they fought back. They were men. They are men. At least the men part.
Yeah.
And it was a fight. Now here we are, 2021. It don't matter no more. You know what I mean?
Don't matter no more.
Yeah, you just learn how to cross the bridge, get where you're trying to go. And you let other people go where they want to go. As long as we don't cross the roads and start getting difficult with each other, that's where a lot of people are. Not everybody,
I mean, honestly, like that, it don't affect me. It don't intimidate me at all. Like, it's like you said, man, it's just, everybody had to find their way to happiness, man. That's why I leave it at that. Mm-hmm. And, really, man, this really for another episode. But, it's just interesting they brought that up, man. But congrats to your brother.
For sure.
And I hope everything goes well with him and his marriage.
Yeah.
You can call me when y'all get on the next episode, man. Call me. Don't go ahead and do that, man.
Leave a young nigga on red, so typical. Leave a young nigga out for dead, it's really typical. Yeah. I see a lot of things in my head, it should be getting critical. Yeah. I think I need a less of my focus. You know that.